Hello. This is my first Facebook Live event, so I'm just going to wait a minute or two. It starts at noon, so I'm going to wait for a few people to join us. Oh, we have one person joining us so far. I'm just going to wait a few more minutes. Okay, so I think I'll begin. I'm wearing my mask right now, which is the protocol, of course. I am in my office alone, so I am going to be taking it off just for the purpose of this video so that you can all see my face and better hear me. So I'm going to be doing that. Nobody else is in the room with me right now. My name is Jessica Woodson. I'm an audiologist at Audio Help Hearing Centers. I work on their Upper East Side location. We have several other offices, one in the Chelsea area, one near Columbus Circle, one in Westchester and Scarsdale, and then one in Stamford, Connecticut. This is my first Facebook Live event, but we are pretty active on social media. Today we're going to be talking about assistive listening devices, ALDs for short, and how we can use them with hearing aids to maximize communication success. We're going to be going over 4 main types of assistive listening devices today. There are plenty more, but I'm going to go over the 4 main ones. And then in further Facebook Live events, you can join and we'll go over each a little bit more in depth. Or better yet, you can come into one of our offices and we can demonstrate how they work for you in person. Okay, so I'm gonna wheel over here. Guess I don't have to wheel. I'll walk over here. Okay, so I have a setup going on. I'm gonna take my phone so you can kind of see a close-up of the different devices. So we're gonna be going over remote control, streamer, a remote microphone, a TV streamer specifically. We'll differentiate between the regular streamer and the TV streamer. And last but not least, a phone assistive device. Okay. So, first things first, remote control. Today, I am going to be going over different manufacturers. We work with all of them. Widex, Starkey, Oticon, Siemens, Resound, Phonak. Every manufacturer has their manufacturer-specific assistive listening device. So I tried to give a good variety. But if you see something today and you're like, does my hearing aid have that? Probably it does. It may just look a little bit different. So first we have, this is Signia's product, remote control. Like I mentioned, all manufacturers have the basic remote control. So it's pretty small. If you look closely, it can be hooked on to a keychain of sorts. Some people put it around a neck loop. So basically what it does, very simply, is it increases or it decreases the volume. Sometimes you can also program it to change the different programs. The audiologist will do that for you in the office. So this is what it looks like. It's a remote control, similar to what a remote control for your TV does, increasing and decreasing the volume, and then also changing the programs if you have programs or want programs. An advantage to having this is that you don't have to play around with the hearing aid itself. Most behind-the-ear hearing aids have buttons that are on the back that you can make these changes. But some people don't like to do that because it's cumbersome to touch your ear or inside of your ear, or they want it to be more discreet. They don't really want to be touching their hearing aids. Other times, it's just in addition to the buttons, so you don't have to choose one or the other. You can choose buttons or remote control. In addition to the remote control and the buttons on the back of the hearing aids, most new hearing aids now are compatible with smartphones, if you have one, iPhone, Android. So there are applications on your phone where you can make these adjustments, volume, program. Those apps go way more in depth than just this basic remote control, which they're excellent, and we're going to talk about that in a later session. But I just wanted to let you know that it's a remote control, buttons on the back, or the app. So you have the best of all three worlds if you want to make any changes. If you're somebody who doesn't want to make any changes to their hearing aids and you want them to work for you and not play around with them, that's fine too. Most of the new hearing aid technology is very, they communicate with artificial intelligence and they're very smart. So they will do that, but this specific session is on assistive devices, which is when somebody is having issues with their hearing aids, even after getting the best hearing aid, making all the adjustments, following up with their audiologist, they still require an extra device, which is perfectly fine and very helpful if you are tech savvy and want to utilize that. So number one, remote control. Okay, so the second one that we have is a streamer. So this is Oticon's streamer. Like I mentioned, every manufacturer will have their version of this. So we have the Signia Siemens remote control, and now the Oticon streamer. All manufacturers have. So it's pretty small, discreet. Some manufacturers are even sleeker than this. Some manufacturers are a little bit bigger. Goes around your neck, like so. And you can even put it, within your coat or your jacket, whatever you're wearing. You can go and put it, in your shirt if you don't want it to be visible. And essentially, this is for somebody who, A, does not have a smartphone, or B, has a smartphone, but it's not compatible with their hearing aids. So iPhones, for example, most hearing aids are compatible with iPhones. Some hearing aids are also compatible with Android phones when it comes to streaming, phone calls, music, podcasts, any audio input. When I say streaming, I just mean direct communication from your phone to the hearing aids. And some devices don't offer that, in which case you would wear this little streamer and you can get that access. So if you're like me and you like listening to music, you can throw in your hearing aids, play some music, and it will go from your phone. You can go on Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your music from, to the hearing aids. Or if you are taking a business call or a personal call, you can answer your hearing aids direct, usually, but if your phone is not compatible or you don't have a smartphone, you would use the streamer. Okay, let's see. One feature of this streamer, and most streamers, every manufacturer will call it a little bit different, something different, but it's a room off button. So essentially, not only does it stream direct your audio input, your music, phone calls, podcasts, videos, anything audio, but you can have a room off feature so that all the other sound that's around you is reduced. So if you're on the street, especially in somewhere like New York City where it's very noisy. So I found that to be very helpful. My patients have found that to be very helpful. So this is a streamer, a general streamer, mostly for smartphones. If you don't have a smartphone or if your smartphone isn't compatible with your hearing aids for direct streaming. So we had Signia's remote control and Oticon streamer. Okay, next up on the list. Remote microphone. This is by far one of my favorite assistive listening devices that I think is very underrated and not enough patients utilize. I'm recommending it to all of my patients because it does many, many cool things. So normally What is the main complaints of patients with hearing loss who have hearing needs? Or why do they get hearing needs? Hearing, their spouse, their friends, their family, clarity of speech, when somebody's in a noisy environment, so speech and noise, right? Speech and background noise, restaurants, just small group settings, even one-on-one if there's some other background noise going on. So even sometimes with the hearing need, depending on the severity of your hearing loss, you're going to notice that you still may find you have these difficulties. That's where this remote microphone comes into play. And look how small it is, just for reference. I mean, I have tiny hands, but it's the size of my pointer finger, okay? So it's pretty discreet. You have to be an advocate for yourself and wear any of these assistive listening devices, but they're all made pretty small. Oh, I see some comments I just want to reply back to in real time. Love how you mentioned different manufacturer options. It's important. There is no one best manufacturer out there. I wish there were. I would recommend it, but no one manufacturer is perfect. They all have their pros and cons, and they all offer really great products and really great assistive devices. And if they don't, we usually don't dispense those. So, remote microphone. Now, there's two ways you can use this remote microphone. It will direct to your hearing aids. So there's a microphone on here, and it's remote. That's why it's called a remote microphone. So if you want to face it up like this, vertical, then you can clip it on, or the person who you want to hear will clip it on. Okay, so say you're out, you're having dinner with your friends or your significant other, family member, they'll clip it on right here. And since the microphone is facing their lips and it's vertical, it will pick up that sound and you will hear directly what they're saying straight to your hearing aids. Even if you're all the way at the ends of the dining room table, even if you're a little bit further away. So when you put it like this, vertically, it's very good for more one-on-one settings. Now, you have to have a speaker, a partner, friends, a family member, whoever you give it to, a teacher, if you're a student, that's comfortable with wearing it like that. So if they don't feel comfortable or that's not what you want them to do, you can actually place it horizontally, okay? So it will just go on the table like so. Okay, so this is horizontal. This is best for multiple people talking at once, not just one-on-one. This is meant for, that dinner party. Small dinner parties, it's going to be, easier, just as even for me with normal hearing, it's much easier for me to hear when I'm speaking with one person or even 4 people than when it's all my girlfriends, 12 of us. So don't worry, that's not a hearing issue. That's sometimes an issue for even somebody with normal hearing. But it is really nice to have the two options, vertical for one-on-one. Somebody will clip it, or horizontal where you can place it in the center of the table and it will pick up multiple conversations. So this is Starkey's remote microphone. Okay, so we had Signia's remote control, tiny. Volume control, program change. Okay, we talked about buttons on the back of the hearing aids and apps to also help with that. And then we had Oticon's streamer, my favorite so far, the remote microphone. Okay. So now we're going to move on to amplified phones, landline phones. Okay, so not everybody has a smartphone, or not everybody only communicates with a smartphone. So amplified phones at home are incredibly helpful. Even if you don't have hearing aids, amplified phones are helpful because oftentimes the phone connection is poor, or somebody's talking in the background, a child is screaming, or somebody's asking you where they left their jackets, and you're trying to listen to this person on the phone. So it is going to, 1, amplify the telephone, and 2, there's manufacturer-specific phones that will connect automatically via a telecoil with your hearing aid. Telecoil is a key word here, and we are going to talk about that in a future Facebook Live event, so stay tuned, but it's very helpful. Essentially, there's a telecoil in most hearing aids, and there's telecoils in most landline phones, or at least the older ones were. So now the hearing aid manufacturers have made phones. This one is specifically a phonak, that will amplify the sound and connect with your hearing aids. Okay, and it's a wireless phone. You do have to plug in the back to an internet jack and then just a regular outlet. So there's two plugs there, but it's just a wireless phone. Okay. Another version of an amplified phone would be a caption call phone. And what a caption call phone does that's even better than just an amplified phone is it will write out what the other person is saying. So it's really nice to have if you're a visual learner. I know a lot of my patients use the subtitles when they watch TV. So it's essentially the same thing just for phone calls. So that's called caption call. And that comes with most hearing aids free of charge if you have a known hearing loss. So a caption call phone is great. It amplifies and it also will type out what it is that the other person is saying. We have one in our waiting room, but there are some patients out there, so I don't want to disturb anybody. So maybe in an upcoming call or an upcoming video, I'll show you the caption call. Okay, and lastly, another one of my favorites besides the remote mic is the TV streamer. I love TV. I'm sure, especially now with the pandemic, a lot of us are at home watching television. I mean, I'm on my third Netflix documentary this week. So for all of you who are having difficulties watching TV, even with your hearing aids, you've gotten adjustments done. They're fine for you in other situations, but there's just something about the TV that you're not picking up. That's fine. That's normal because most TVs, the speakers are on the back. And where do we put our TVs? Flat on our walls. So the speakers are behind and they're facing the wall. So this is very helpful in those situations. Very sleek. Look how thin it is. It's not going to take up a lot of room if you don't have it, on your TV stand. There is 2 plugs. One goes in the back of the TV and one will plug into the wall, but nothing is going from your hearing aids to here. You don't have to wear anything around your neck. Older TV streamers, you did have to wear something around the neck, but now the latest ones, most of these products are wireless. Less wires, the better. Okay, so this is Widex's TV Play. Again, all manufacturers have a TV streamer like this. And they're all great in their own ways. Some of them are so great that you'll walk into the room and it will just automatically connect. You don't have to do much. So an advantage of this, aside from the fact that, of course, what's coming from the TV is going directly to your hearing aids, is that you don't have to have somebody else complaining that the TV is too loud, because you are hearing it louder and you're hearing it direct, but they're actually not hearing any differently. Okay, they may actually want to raise the volume because they're like, I'm not used to you, listening to the TV so low. So this is a really nice feature. I think that kind of wraps up the 4 main ones that I wanted to go over. So we have the remote control. We had buttons on the hearing aids. We had apps, okay? But the remote control does that, a mini version of that. We had a regular streamer. Okay, so this was Signia's, this is Oticon's. A regular streamer that's going to be put around your neck if your phone does not have direct streaming for hearing aids. Some Android users, but now there are a lot of hearing aids that will direct stream for Android, so watch out. I'm an iPhone user, so I'm biased, but we have remote control, a remote microphone, okay? And this one is Starkey's. We have magnified, amplified phones, landline phones. This one is Phonax. And lastly, we had TV streamer. Okay, so these are 4 main types of assistive listening devices, ALDs, and we offer them here at Audio Help in conjunction with your hearing aids. If your audiologist hasn't spoken about them, please, please, please ask them. I know we all do here. It's always something that's very useful, especially for our patients who are still struggling because of the severity of their hearing loss with hearing aids. I really, really appreciate you all coming on here. I do want to say some hellos to everybody. So we have Anna, Rufina, Brian, Vikisha. Oh, thank you. So helpful. They're thanking me. Well, I'm thanking them because I'm glad that you came on. We have Lou saying great information. You're doing great. So the next session, we're going to be talking about smartphones and how to use them to help with your hearing aids. I know I mentioned apps really quickly and everyone was probably like, that can be a whole different session. So we will be going over that. I will let you know through our Facebook, you can look us up, Audio Help Hearing Centers on Facebook. We're on Twitter. And our website is www.myhearingexpert.com. So you can find when these events are happening. I'll be doing them once a month, probably around the afternoon time. The TV streamer is so awesome, Natasha says. It is. Very neat and cool, super useful. Thank you. So thank you so much for allowing me to share this with you all. This video will be on our Facebook page permanently once it goes off of live, but I do appreciate you all coming out. Most importantly, once, we feel safe to come to the offices, we have patients coming very often still. We're practicing protocols, and we're, giving it our best to eliminate this virus. But once you feel that you want to come back in, please ask away for any of these assistive listening devices. We are here to help you. We're meeting virtually now through Facebook Live, but I have patients coming in for follow-ups often with questions. I'm Jessica Woodson at Audio Help Hearing Centers, and we thank you all for coming out today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy and healthy hearing. Bye. I don't know. Let's see how I shut this off. Finish.